Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sanae. I'm your host, EXO. I hope you had a great weekend. Myself, I just worked and spent time with the family. Always got to spend time with the family on the weekends, especially when I'm so busy and I work a lot. A lot of people have been telling me that I've been working so much and everything, so I'm really trying to find the balance and the time to dedicate my time towards spending time with the family, spending time with myself. Lately, this whole week, I've learned I like to do Sundays. I like to do weekly evaluations of myself and mentally, physically, and just see where I'm at. And I just know this week I exhausted my energy doing a whole lot, working so much that yesterday Sunday I went the whole day without eating. I usually do intermittent fasting, but yesterday I was just working so much and didn't bring no food with me, didn't bring no lunch with me, and didn't have a bowl of cereal till like 6 o'clock in the day. That brought me back to life because I felt like I was struggling. So went back to working all day, and then I didn't eat till like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, which I don't condone. I hate eating late. Had some shrimp fried rice just to carry me over the top. So man, I really just gotta really take care of yourself and really just eat. But you can't get too busy to where you're working so much or doing some things that you put off eating. Eating is really vital, and I learned that yesterday. I learned a lot about myself yesterday. I see I was like very irritable, but I controlled my emotions. So like I said, yeah, I do weekly evaluations on Sunday, and yesterday I don't know why I went all day without eating. Well, like I said, I didn't bring my lunch. But back to today's show. I'm gonna stop rambling on. Today's show, I have a guest who is passionate about mental health. She's a mental health advocate, a blogger, a sneakerhead, hosts a podcast every Sunday called Call Me Crazy. She grew up in Toronto, Canada, has her bachelor's in general studies and psychology. But before we get to her, I'll discuss the quote of the day. Love yourself first, and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. I found that quote, and I thought that would be perfect for this Mental Health Monday episode, simply because I feel like we don't love ourselves enough. We want the outside world to love us before we even love ourselves. And as we all do it, I've been going through that, I want to say, for about majority of my life, looking for outside love instead of looking for love within. And honestly, I didn't really discover that self-love until last year. 27 now, so 26 years, man. And really learning to love myself, have confidence in myself, to know that I can do anything I put my mind to, set my mind to, and I have the ability to accomplish anything and conquer anything, versus doubting myself is like out. Looking for the opinions of others is out. You have to love yourself first and always love yourself no matter what comes your way, mentally or physically. Just know that at the end of the day, you are all you got, and the higher being is all you got too. So love yourself at the end of the day, and don't let nobody else. Don't look for the outside love. Look for the inside love. Build the love within before you try to look for love without. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. I don't want to go to work, but another day, another dollar, so it's all good.
That's a typical thing. I'll be the same way. I was just like that yesterday. Like, I do not want to go in. I'm like,
Mm-mm.
work is a drag. You like, man, I need my podcast to take off, my other businesses to take off. So
Literally, I just need to work for myself, but it's okay.
it's life though. But
Yeah,
it's gonna happen this year. Everything's gonna take off for both of us. So
yeah, it is.
we're gonna look back. You walk in, they like, man, I remember you used to be the manager here.
Ah, literally.
but but I want to thank you once again for coming on the show.
Of course.
Appreciate you. I gave an introduction of who you are. Do you want to let the people know a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I guess you could call me Baz. I usually go by Baz. My full name is Basma. Um, I'm a mental health advocate, blogger, and I don't know. I love sneakers. I'm a shoe head. I have my own podcast called Call Me Crazy. If you guys are interested in listening to anything that has to do with wellness, mental health, all that stuff. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much me in like the smallest of words.
And y'all should check out her podcast. Her podcast is like it's I use it every day and I like it. So it
um,
helps. Like you said, it does like helps with mental health and wellness, and she knows her shit. Trust me. So tune in, call me crazy, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Let her know what y'all think.
please.
But I do appreciate you being a mental health advocate personally, because I know how mental health is. I lost someone close to me to
Mm-hmm.
mental health, so I know how it is. That's why, my passion is slowly growing for mental health and letting
Mm-hmm.
people know and talking about it, because I feel like it's not discussed enough personally.
Yeah.
So, so, what came? Why the name "Call Me Crazy" for the podcast?
Ooh. So I grew up in an immigrant household, specifically my dad's African, and like the whole topic of like mental health was so taboo. It like didn't exist. Like if you were going through something, it was either you're too emotional, you're weak, you're too sensitive, or you're crazy. And you should pray about it type of thing. So I was literally being called crazy. And then as I got older, um, we started like you just realize like the type of words that are being thrown around when it comes to mental health and how we identify certain things, and you internalize those words. So I wanted to reclaim that power, that stigma. So instead of someone trying to be like, "Well, you're crazy," it's like, "Yeah, call me crazy." And what? Like I've owned my mental health, like I've owned my diagnosis, like I'm working on it. If anything, I'm healthier because I'm constantly working on it compared to someone else. So, yeah, call me crazy. And I think everyone at some point can identify to that. Like, yeah, I am crazy and what? It's not hurtful anymore.
You embrace the people calling you crazy, because like going up throughout, like you said, through life, everyone's crazy in their own way. It's just
Yeah.
somebody else so crazy, but it's like, yeah, call me crazy, and what? You can't use that against me. I embrace my crazy side, because I've
Mhm.
been through battles with this crazy shit, so I got it under control. So yeah, call me crazy. I
Mhm.
love it. I love the name and I love the meaning behind it. So
Thank you.
I like that. I like that. Your name, is there a meaning behind your name, or
Ooh, like my first name, Basma.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, so my dad's Moroccan. Basma means smile in like Arabic. Yeah. So I guess it's funny because like I feel like my personality is naturally really bubbly and smiley, which is ironic because I was diagnosed with like major depressive disorder. I always say I'm like a walking like oxymoron, but yeah, like I'm but I'm a really smiley person, so I think the name suits me.
Oh, that's dope. I like that. I like names but with meanings behind them. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so smile. So you guys learned some Arabic today.
Yes.
So I like that. So you say you was diagnosed with major depressive disorder.
Yes.
When was that?
Ooh, so I was diagnosed, I think I was like 19, 20. I remember I had hit rock bottom. Like I dropped out of school. I wasn't eating. I moved back home. And my parents literally, I think it got to a point like I think it was the not eating part. Like I was just becoming like a skeleton of a person. They brought me in and then I got diagnosed with major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and PTSD. So I think it was around like 19, 20, and often those three tend to be diagnosed together. And something I always want to say is that everyone can experience like anxiety, depression, even forms of trauma, but not, but a disorder. That what makes something a disorder is it starts to prevent you from living your day-to-day life. So literally like can't go to school, can't get out of bed for a long period of time, can't eat. So that's something that I think most people misunderstand. Like everyone can have anxiety, everyone can experience an episode of depression, um, but a disorder, it literally disrupts your life. Like you can't be functioning, like you become disabled. So yeah, that's, I think I was like 19, 20.
That's crazy. And and dealing with that at 19 and 20, I know that can that was like rough,
Oh,
especially is like did anybody else in your family have those disorders growing,
mm,
or were you like the first one like with it?
I want to say, okay, so the thing is, with me, I'm probably the first one who's ever gotten it diagnosed. And that's also because of like generational like stigma and taboo and all that, which is like what I want to break, right? We're breaking generational patterns, generational like curses and stuff. Like I want to be healthier so that I don't pass it on to my kids. I really think like my family, like my parents, my grandparents definitely have suffered from some form of trauma and like all that. And that gets passed down, right? Um, so definitely, I can definitely say there is a genetic aspect. Um, so that's what I want to do. I really, like I always say, like mental health is connected to your mind, your body, and your spirit and your soul. So it's like I'm trying to break that curse so that when I have kids, it's not passed down to them. I want to give them the best chance at life.
I respect that. And like you said, most of the family genes are inherited through their kids, and like you
Mhm.
said, when it comes to mental health, diabetes, and none of it's really talked about or discussed within families.
Yeah.
Like so they just go about it, and then they get diagnosed, and then it's like, oh dang, you could have seen the early warning signs
Mhm.
and whatnot. So I think it should be personally, I think it should be discussed in schools early, so everybody's educated in it versus teaching other subjects, because mental health is like the biggest thing,
Oh,
and
for
especially mental health.
sure, for sure. Like the mind is everything, right? Like the
Yeah,
mind is probably the most powerful thing that we have as humans, and like the fact that we don't take care of it as if it was like an extension of our body, or like, you know, we pray to take care of our souls, we go to the gym to take care of our bodies, but it's like, what are we doing for our mind? It's the most powerful thing we have. So like it's so crazy to me that we just let it do its thing when it's so powerful. We should be like taking care of it.
most definitely. And what tips would you have to like for mental health, like to build mental health, or yeah, I want to say build mental health.
So the main thing I want to say is everyone has a form of mental health. It doesn't mean you have like a mental health disorder. I feel like everyone has mental health, just like everyone has
Yeah,
physical health. When it comes to like good mental health hygiene, I would say just making sure that you are not suppressing and you're just very self aware. I think self awareness is like step one. A lot of people will just float through life or suppress their feelings or not really address what they're feeling because they were taught not to feel, or they were taught, you know, to just go through motions. But really just allowing yourself to feel and then trying to figure out why you're feeling the way you're feeling is step one. You can't do anything before you understand what's going on. And I think just having like a good support system that allows you to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is so important for healing. It doesn't mean you're not strong. And it could be with just one person. It could be with a therapist, could be with a friend. And it could even just be with yourself if it means like through prayer or writing like in a journal. Like stuff like that really helps. I would say even just doing research on things that you don't understand, being naive to something or ignorant to something isn't going to help you. So when I didn't understand what was going on with me, I was literally searching that stuff up all the time. And it was so hard for me because there was very little information that was relatable. It was all very textbook kind of. So that's kind of why I did my podcast, because I wanted to connect to people. And there's a lot of healing that comes when you connect to people who go through similar things. So yeah, support system, finding your like community. I think that really is like the main thing. Human connection is the most healing thing, I think.
true. Because like we all adapt to others, and like you said, human connection is a part of healing. So once you connect with somebody that's been through what you've been through, they can help you and assist you and like
Mm-hmm.
guide you how to go through the steps and the process of being through it. That's like, with alcoholics, they have AA meetings, and that's
Mm-hmm.
because so it's like something like that. I think if they I don't know if they do have mental health meetings or something of that nature, but it's something like how AA got their stuff,
Yeah,
mental health should have their stuff as well.
they
So they
do.
can, okay, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I'm like pretty sure they do, but I'm just like,
Mhm.
that all helps out in a way. So there's ways out there if you're dealing with mental health to get help and whatnot. You're not alone in it because everybody's been
Never,
through
never
some
alone.
form of mental health.
Yeah.
So
Literally, I think everyone should go to therapy, whether you have a disorder or not, because everyone's just going through shit.
mm,
um like, or even if it means just talking to people, like, you just need to release. Like, I always think, like, holding stuff in is what hurts humans, you know what I mean? It comes out in other ways. It either manifests in physical pain, manifests in anger and violence, you know. So release, just release that pain, those toxins, you know. Our nervous systems are just so damaged because it's just the day-to-day stressors. So you got to take care of yourself, you know, disconnect from your phone, disconnect from constant stimulus. Like, there's so many things, little things you can do to just bring yourself back to like a neutral place.
I think one of the things I would like want to recommend as you was saying that, I was like you said, disconnect from your phone, but going hiking, being
Mhm.
like within nature, in nature, feeling the sun, and really just
Mhm.
being there. So hiking, you getting the physical activity, getting the sunlight, you're in nature, so like that builds mental health. If you do that like on a daily or even like 2 to 3 times a week, go hiking, just being within nature and just building up your mental health doing that.
No, for sure. I think physical health and mental health are super connected. Like, being physically active does so much for your brain and your hormones, because a lot of depression, anxiety, or just any type of disorder actually, is connected to hormone imbalances and all that. So working out does so much for your mind, and then also just being out in nature is so good for you because of sunlight, which is vitamin D. Oxygen to your brain is so necessary, especially if you live in a city where there's just pollution and you're constantly not outside, you're not getting that fresh air. It can make such a big difference to how you feel. And just connecting, like, I'm really big on like spirituality, like connecting, like regrounding yourself. It creates this, like, just even being out in nature creates that energy of regrounding yourself, creating that, bringing you back to your home frequency. So I think things are so important, like really disconnecting from things like you said, like your phone, just day to day, like rushing everywhere, trying to run from point A to point B. Like, sometimes you have to slow down to get to where you really need to be, you know?
That's so real. I've been learning that myself because I'm always busy running around, and I'm like, there's some days I need to unplug from the
Mm-hmm.
phone, from the world, and just need that time for myself, and just like you said, be out in nature, get in that sunlight, and just like breathe. And versus like, I feel like everything's just coming at me. I'm like, man, so I'm just wearing myself thin. So I'm learning to really just take the time and just uh, unplug and de-stress and focus on myself and my well-being overall.
Mm-hmm. So important.
Most definitely. So I'm gonna get to your childhood. How was your childhood growing up? Do you feel like your childhood had uh factors in your mental health?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think most people who end up being diagnosed with something with mental health, it was either triggered or kind of foreshadowed in childhood. But the way I remember, it's so funny because me and my girl were talking about this last night. Um, the way I remember my childhood, or I did for a really long time, was this like perfect little bubble of like a great childhood, what I chose to remember. And then as I grew older into adulthood, I would have glimpses or memories that would start coming back of like certain like traumas that I went through, or certain moments that, like, I guess I suppressed or my brain protected me from. And that's super common, for anyone who goes through trauma at an early age, or even later on in life, but specifically at an early age. Your brain will protect you. It will repress that memory so that you're able to cope, you know what I mean? So as I've gotten
Yeah.
older, I've either like had moments where I'll remember things from my childhood that were traumatic, or moments that I know at the time I probably wouldn't have been able to deal with. And I think my childhood really set the tone, not necessarily the tone, but I there's I wish my parents had been educated at least to see the signs, if that makes sense. But that's not their fault, right? Like they didn't know better. They were doing their best. But now that I know, when I hopefully have kids, I'm able to see the signs of what can lead to a life of being diagnosed. You know what I mean? Like these certain things, like early on trauma, like a traumatic event or an anxious child. Like what makes an anxious child? It's a relationship with a parent, like the way they parent them. You know what I mean? So different things like that. My parents were very not, they were physically present but emotionally absent. So that really ingrained in me and how I see relationships. You know what I mean? Even their relationship, it was like my first example of like what romantic relationships look like, and that wasn't healthy. So that kind of transferred into later on in life and how I saw myself, how I saw men, and all that. So it's just so important. I say childhood is the biggest stepping stone, the biggest thing when it comes to your blueprint for life and how to navigate through life.
That's true, and I feel that too. And I'm like, I think in childhood it should start in schools where they should start teaching the mental health already,
Mm-hmm.
and just doing little things a day to build the mental health and helping the kids out and assisting the kids.
Oh my
So
goodness. Yes.
that's that's where it all starts with me because it starts with the children because they're the future. So it's like you build their mental health early and consistently throughout their whole curriculum, and then by the time they get to high school, college would be just a whole different breed coming out where mentally healthy kids. Even though like some will have mental health issues, but it's still like the percentage will go up for better mental health.
Mm-hmm. And at least they'll
So
have the tools, the ones that do get diagnosed, which sometimes, it's genetics and there's so many factors involved. At least they'll have the tools to be successful.
yeah, definitely. So what was your what create developed your passion for mental health besides your own the mental health you went through? Did it,
Mm-hmm.
what made you want to really get more interested in it?
So it wasn't my first job. I think it was my like first like full-time job. I worked at a Boys and Girls Club for 5 years, and I was hired to work with kids who had exceptionalities. And when I say exceptionalities, because I don't like to say like disabilities, because I don't think they were disabled. I think they just had like things that set them apart or made them different, but not in a bad way. So I work with kids who had like autism, that were on the spectrum, Down syndrome, Tourette syndrome, different types of anxiety disorders. And like just working with them, I realized how misunderstood and how like malinformed I was, first of all, because I just had this like idea that they like weren't smart, or they just didn't understand. They were brilliant, so smart, so full of life, so pure. And like I just learned so much about like the lack of resources, the lack of knowledge, and it was just so eye-opening. And just what I got back from it made me realize like this is what I want to do with my life. You know what I mean? Like I want to help people who are misunderstood. I want to help people who, need that person to hear them and give them the opportunity to be great, because they're already great. It's just allowing them to be great. So yeah, I think that really sparked it for me. It was just working with those kids. There's nothing that made me like that happy. Like just it was just a great opportunity.
And it's like I said, the child. It starts with the childhood, giving them that extra time, that extra love, and just spending that time with them, getting to know them, and seeing who they really are,
Hmm.
versus just judging them from the outside. Like they say, don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know like what they go through on a daily basis at home, especially if you spend like 5 to 10 minutes with them. Being in their life can make a difference. Like that 5 or 10 minutes you spend in anyone's life, make it a positive effect versus just having that negative, that harsh reality. Showing them that there is love in the world versus all this hate and dislike. And so I appreciate that you really just stuck with it because Especially, how old were you at the time when you got this job?
I think I was like 18.
Oh yeah, especially at 18. I know you was like fresh out of high school
Yeah.
dealing with the high school stuff and everything. So you like, I know it was like, do I really want to do this? But you
Yeah.
really stuck with it and you like, nah, fuck that. This is what I'm passionate about because
Mm-hmm.
I've been through my mental health journey, so I'm not gonna judge them. I'm gonna show them the
Yeah.
love, the care, and the time to show them that, like you said, they are brilliant people, but it just takes you got to dedicate extra time to getting to know them and
Mm-hmm.
getting to know what makes them brilliant because
Yeah.
everybody's brilliant in their own way. So
Exactly.
you did that, and you like, oh man, they're great artists. They can great singer. They can play the piano like a motherfucker.
No, but for real though,
like,
like so talented in so many
yeah.
ways.
So that's dope. You say you did it for 5 years.
Yeah.
What made you leave? If you don't,
Man, it had nothing to do with the kids. It was just like stuff at the workplace, to be honest. If it hadn't been that, I probably would have still been there. Like,
oh, okay.
yeah, it had nothing to do with the kids. The kids, if anything, like it was hard to leave because of the kids. Like I saw them grow up, right? 5 years, that's a significant amount of time in a child's life. Seeing them grow up from like either like a small child to like, a young adult. A lot of them became teenagers while I was there. Like it was just really beautiful. Some of them I still keep in contact with because like I got close to the parents or whatever. So it's just really cool to see someone evolve and to see their know their potential and see them reach their potential is just really beautiful. And like they taught me a lot too, and they brought me a lot of healing during that time. So it almost became selfish a little bit because they were creating this like unconditional love, like this space of unconditional love, which was so healing at the time.
I like that. I appreciate that. Like I'm just like in awe because I'm like the journey you went through from there to now, and it created the passion and your purpose, and that's I salute you.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I got it figured out earlier on. Um, I don't know, I just stumbled onto it because I really didn't know where I was going at the time. Like, I don't think anyone really knows at 18, right? It's this like false expectation, but I was pretty lucky.
What did you want to be like at 18? What was you like? Did you have a career set or did you know like 18 you in
Man,
high school for a senior you like
yeah.
some people like, oh, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a
Mm-hmm.
firefighter, stuff like that. So
Well, I said I grew up in like dominantly like African household and like being African, like all you like really and truly all you're told is you can either be a doctor or you can be a doctor. Like that's it. Like those are the two options. Pick one. Other than that, you're a failure. So I
that's
automatically
crazy.
thought I was gonna be a pediatrician. Like that was I wanted to work with kids. I wanted to go to med school. I had my game plan. And then I realized, like, yo, I don't like biology. Like, I cannot do this thing. Like, I could care less about this. I don't care for math. Like, I will literally, it will destroy my mental health if I continue on this path. And I don't know if that's what I wanted to do. And then I started to look at different options. I don't even know how I stumbled on psychology because at the time it wasn't really like a thing. Like I didn't know you could get a career in that. Like I didn't even know what mental health was, like I said at the time. But I think just seeing what these kids were doing, the type of jobs, I kind of worked backwards. I was like, okay, so if I work with these kids, what type of degree would I need? And then it came back to like psychology degree, social work. You know what I mean? So it was just like I kind of worked backwards and that kind of helped me get to that point.
Got you. Well, for sure, for sure. So you're studying to be a registered psychotherapist.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. Can you inform my listeners on what a psychotherapist is?
Oh, for sure. Actually, this is something that got confused for a really long time. So, a psychotherapist essentially is a registered quote unquote therapist. So, they can implement different forms of therapy, such as like cognitive behavioral therapy, talk therapy, different forms of therapy. The difference between a psychotherapist and a psychologist and a psychiatrist is a psychotherapist does not diagnose medication and does not diagnose a patient with a disorder. Like we don't diagnose or assign a disorder to a patient, which those two things I would prefer not to do anyways, because I think sometimes diagnosing a patient or a person, not even a patient, I don't even want to call them a patient, a person with a disorder creates this victim mentality, creates a crutch, you know what I mean? Instead of telling someone you're depressed, it's like, no, you aren't depressed. You just have depression, you know what I mean? Or you feel like this, this is not who you are. So that automatically I gravitate towards. And I also have such mixed feelings when it comes to medication that I wouldn't feel comfortable diagnosing it or like prescribing it, I mean. So I would rather give them other options before giving them medication. And then there's psychologists. Psychologists tend to do more research in the field. And then psychiatrists are the ones that tend to prescribe medication. But I want to do the psychotherapy, which is just heavily focused on therapy.
I feel like that's better anyway. There's psychotherapy versus being a
Mm-hmm.
psychiatrist or a psychologist. Like
Mm-hmm.
diagnosing somebody and prescribing somebody medicines, I'm like, I'm not too fond of myself. I
Mm-hmm.
rather do the natural way. So
Yeah.
I understand. I respect the psychotherapist. I never knew what it was myself until I started doing research on it
Mm-hmm.
and on the mental health field. So I was like, oh, I wanted you to inform them on what it was. What do you plan to accomplish once you get? What's your next accomplishment after you get your registration with the whole psychotherapist?
Ooh, hopefully I get that. And once I do, because I will, um, I want to either have my own clinic or I want to work in like I always say I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but I know what it's going to feel like. So
Yeah.
I want it to be unorthodox. Like I don't see myself sitting in an office, patient comes, sits on a chair and we just talk. Like I feel like that dynamic is a little outdated for me. I want to actively work with the person, I want to get them on their feet. I want to create if they're artistic. Like I don't know what it'll feel or look like, but I specifically want to work in a minority demographic. I want to create that resource, or whether it's workshops or it's therapy groups, or I don't even know what it'll look like, or I just know it'll feel different than the regular therapy sessions. But I specifically want to give it to minorities or disadvantaged like communities, because I think that's where of a lot of need is, like I grew up in the inner city, and like just seeing what me and my friends went through and just how normal it became to us. It's like, no, that's not normal. You shouldn't like know this many people that have died before the age of 15. You know what I mean? You shouldn't,
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
like you shouldn't walk around and be okay with knowing that someone could just stab you any moment or can get robbed, or like that's PTSD, you know what I mean? Like that's not normal, but it's just we're used to that, because it's just that's where we grew up.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
those kids, we tend to, like, I'm lucky I went to school. Like a few of us went to school, but some of my friends like took a completely different path, and it's like they're reproducing that pattern, you know what I mean? And it makes me sad, but at the same time it's like you are a product of your environment. So I would love to be that voice, that advocate for them as well.
Definitely. I know what you mean too, because I've got a few friends that, like you said, they've seen more death than life before the age of
Yeah.
15, and it's like that's PTSD in itself, and that starts developing at a young age, and they don't have no outlet to talk to, discuss the issues, or have the mental health counselors, and like feel like they can't express how they feel or their feelings because they don't want to be judged, and they don't want to feel like they're vulnerable
Mhm.
because they got to really just suck it up and really just take it because that's the life they live in,
Mhm.
and it's like it's an everyday thing. They see it every day, so it's like they don't know it's traumatizing them in a way, but they just like it's it's man, it's rough. That's why I want to start like
Yeah.
reaching the kids as best as I can because I know it starts with them, like you said, in the inner cities and especially with my minorities and because within my own minorities, the subject of mental health is never discussed or talked about.
Mhm.
So and that's what I was discussing with a few friends at lunch the other day. They were saying like as a minority, like you said, mental health is very rarely talked about within the within the minority group, within that I want to say the African Americans, the Africans, just the whole color is barely
Mhm.
talked about with them. So so when it is brought up or kind of they don't know how to deal with it. They think it's like you said, they victimize, but it's something they can overcome. But they never was taught how to overcome it. They when someone first hits them, they like, oh shit, their mind instantly goes negative, and that just it builds on the mental illness or
Mhm.
mental health issue because it's like they're going to the negative because once they hear they're diagnosed or I got to prescribe you this, they just like that's all negative stuff, and it's like
Mhm.
oh, it's no positive influence or no positive
Mhm.
gesture.
Yeah.
So
It has such a negative connotation, just because of what we were taught. It's like if you're diagnosed, quote unquote, you're crazy, literally. You know what I mean? And no one wants
yeah,
to be told crazy because crazy means you're out of control. Crazy means you're weak. No, you're not weak. If anything, if you were given these cards, you're probably way stronger than most people because look at you, you're still here. But that's just because of lack of education. You know what I mean? When we don't know better, we're going to assume the worst. And then being diagnosed on top of it, you don't understand what these things mean. You think something's wrong with you. It's like, no, if someone told you you have cancer, you're not going to blame yourself for having cancer. You're not going to see yourself as weak for having cancer. It's like, but it's a different narrative. You know what I mean? It's like mental health doesn't discriminate, cancer doesn't discriminate. It has nothing to do with your character. But why does one define you as a person and one doesn't? And I think that just comes from lack of education and knowledge. But like you said, when you grow up in the inner city and stuff, like that's just something like we never talked about culturally. You know what I mean? A lot of us come from immigrant households or really like culturally like heavy influenced households. So it's like we're not having those conversations with our parents. If anything, our parents are dealing with it and they're doing what they can, what's best for us, trying their best, because they came from probably even harder, like an even harder like childhood than us. Like I know for sure my parents did. So they're just
yeah,
trying their best, but they're going through their own stuff. So it's like trying to break that cycle or giving someone the chance to break that cycle. Because end of the day, hurt people or hurt themselves, and
true.
it's just like whether it's through like medicating, through drugs, alcohol, women, like different things, it's just like that catches up to you and you just end up reproducing it.
Yeah,
So
that's I feel that, and I'm like that's true. Like you said, hurt people, and some people don't understand that. So we're doing our part so we can build up the communities around us, the people some of people around us, and touch the right people,
mhm,
so we can build that mental health and really open up the door for mental health. Because
mhm,
mental health should be discussed, like I said, in the whole school, the curriculum from elementary to high school to college, and it's not talked about enough. So
for
especially like
sure.
especially when they get diagnosed and prescribed with one of these illnesses, people just don't have. They just get discouraged, and like you said,
Mhm,
they're a victim. They don't have that positive influence around them, and then psychiatrists or the psychologist, all they do is just doing their job, keep prescribing the meds or keeping them in that closed room, talking to them, seeing how they feel, instead of getting them out, walking within nature,
Hmm.
taking a jog, going for a hike. That's like when you said you can feel it, but you can't see
Feel
it.
it.
I
Yeah.
just started picturing like you just doing therapy, like you just taking them on a nature walk or a hike
Mm.
or something. I just pictured that for some reason when you said that. I was like, oh,
Ooh.
that's dope. Like you have, I want to say atrium, and then just like you just walking in a
Ooh.
nature. Like that's what I just
I
pictured.
like
So,
that.
so I was like, oh, that's
I'm
crazy,
gonna
but
note that down. I like that.
most definitely because that really helps. And I know we was discussing earlier. You said sun lamp. Like let's say some people.
Yes.
So
So,
what is a sun lamp, and
mm-hmm.
how does it help the mind?
So, something that's common in, I guess, parts of the world where we don't get much sun all the time, is seasonal affective disorder. It's also known as like winter blues. We don't get enough vitamin D. So, vitamin D is a huge contributor to how happy we feel. It creates a hormone that makes us happy. So, when you don't get that for a long period of time, you tend to feel depressed, sad. And it's super common. Most people won't understand why from the months of like end of October till like March, why they're sad every year. And they just think, oh, it's just because, it's winter, like whatever, I'm just tired. It's like, no, it's literally because you're not getting the right amount of hormones. And a sun lamp reproduces sun, like the same, I guess, rays, or like I don't know how the science works behind it, but it creates the same effect that sunlight has on your brain. And you can literally get it from Amazon. It's just like a little lamp you can put beside your bed, and you use it 30 minutes every day, and it creates the same reaction and produces the same hormone that you would get from sunlight. You can also take vitamin D supplements, but the sun lamp has shown to be more effective. So I always recommend that to people. It's really good.
Sun lamp myself.
Yes, you should.
That sounds real interesting for sure. So Amazon coming.
Yeah, no,
Check
do
it
it.
out.
Literally, I'll have it, and then I'll be like, okay, 30 minutes, I'm gonna read, and I'll have my sun lamp. And like it's like you're killing two birds with one stone at the same time.
Real interesting. Why? What made you start like reading and using the sun lamp at the same time?
Well, I didn't want to, I knew I needed to use it, the sun lamp. But it's like, what am I gonna do? Just sit here? And I also thought, okay, I don't want to be on my phone and be on the sun lamp. Like that just seems so counterproductive. Like I want to do something better for myself. So I wanted to use that time to, I don't know, just create an energy or create this like moment of calmness. So yeah, that's kind of where that started.
Open meditation in a
Yeah.
way. That's
Yeah.
dope. I'm about to try that because I've never thought about using the sun lamp and reading at the same time. So I
Do
know
it. You'll like it.
that's extremely beneficial to the mind. So
Hmm.
jotting that down as we speak. For sure, for sure. So, was you born and raised in Toronto, or
Ooh, I was actually born in the States. Most people don't know that. Um, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah, I don't know anything about it other than Nelly
Saint
was.
Lunatic?
Oh,
Saint Lunatics.
I'm dying. That's perfect.
Oh man, that's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, so that's where I was born, and then we ended up moving here, and I've just grown up downtown Toronto my whole life, other than the year I was born. Yeah, so Toronto's just home for me. It's beautiful, but I'm also biased. Like it has its pros and cons, but it's a beautiful city. I don't think I would have wanted to have grown up anywhere else.
I haven't been to Toronto yet, so that is on my list.
Yes, you must
My,
come.
yeah, I've always wanted to go, honestly, during like OVO Fest, but I know this city's is crazy around that time.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but it depends. Like it could be fun. It'd just be really expensive, but if you plan it ahead of time, you should be okay. But also, just coming like on a random weekend, there's always things to do. Like there's always things happening in the city, especially in the summertime. It's such a beautiful city to be in during the summer. The weather's perfect. It's always sunny. And there's always things happening. So you'll be good.
Summertime. When is y'all summer?
I want to say like summer really hits in May. I love May, but I'm just like biased. I love the month of May. I think the month of May just holds so much like potential and hope and happiness. You're like, finally, I'm out of darkness. So I'm biased, but May and then till like October almost. I want to say it's like summer.
Take that, May in Toronto. Coming
Yes, you should.
for
It's
sure.
so good.
You said there's pros and cons of Toronto. What's the pros and cons?
Ooh, pros. We have great food. You could literally eat just about any authentic dish from almost anywhere in the world because there's so many immigrants, which I love. A lot of creatives. So like we're doing pretty good, I feel like, in terms of representing a whole country in
Yeah,
terms of
most definitely.
creatives. So there's a lot of creatives here. But in terms of cons, I want to say it's just everyone knows each other. Like it's a big city, but it's not. It just feels like it's so small. I always say the city is just such a small city. Like we just are just so interconnected and like I don't know, you can't go to an event and not know someone. But that's just me being like antisocial and I just want to meet new people, you know.
I was the same way. I was antisocial at first myself, and now I'm like constantly networking with people and talking to people. So
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I got it. Man, I'm trying to come to Toronto. Where's
Yeah.
the top 5 food spots in Toronto, in your opinion?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna say you have to try Caribbean food. And that's because we have such a big like Caribbean influence. Where I would say you would have to drive. You would have to either drive or go to like the east or west end of the city. It's not downtown. Like that's not real Caribbean food. Other than that, I would say we have really good. We have like literally sections of the city that we call like we have Little Italy. Like you could definitely get some really good Italian food there. We have um we have Greek town. Like you can get really good Greek food there, you know, like Chinatown, we have Koreatown. So really it depends on what you're feeling. And then you literally go to that area and it's just like mom and pop shops of that food.
Man, I need it.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
I'm
good.
about to, yeah, for sure. I'm planning my trip in May. I'm like, hell yeah, I need that. Um, damn. Top 5 things to do out there.
Ooh. Okay, food, but that's just I am I hungry? Like I keep talking about food. Food for sure.
You got me hungry.
I would say definitely checking out like we have a lot of art exhibits, museums. There's always like creative events that you should go to. We have this dope like open market called Kensington Market where you just see like a bunch of I don't know, it just has everything. It has thrifting, has authentic foods, you can get a tattoo, you see live music. There's everything. Like there's dispensaries, like you can walk and see all these beautiful people. Like it's just dope. And then also the water. I love being by the water. Like we live kind of like New York, we have like the waterfront, and taking the boat, like the ferry to the island. We have an island, the Toronto Island. So seeing the skyline, I think we have, and I'm biased when it comes to this, but I think we have one of the most beautiful skylines in the world. So definitely getting a view of the skyline.
All that out because I'm like, I love food
Hmm.
and I love like art and art exhibits. That's always been my thing. I love art museums, so I've
Hmm.
always been fascinated by that. So that's what I want to do. Every city I go to, I want to travel to like different art
Hmm.
places, art museums, art exhibits, and just like experience that because I feel like besides that helping the mind, but I just love art and creativity and how people just really just take the time and
So
do.
good. So good for you.
And so I'm gonna definitely check that out. May through October, the best times to go.
Yes,
So
sir.
sneakerhead. What's your top 5 sneakers?
Oh man. Okay. My holy grail is the Aleli May shadows. Like that is like I need to buy them when I get my first big girl paycheck. That's what I'm buying.
Jesus, those sound the hardest. I gotta look those up.
They literally are over like 13 or $1,500 right now, but it's ridiculous. They're dope. Aleli May is like she's just my icon. Um,
I know, sure. I know, Shorty. Like,
yeah,
man, so I know who she is. So I was
she's
like, I know she has some kicks out. I'm
uber
about to check them
fly.
out.
I love a good retro like Jordan 1. It has to be a retro colorway, so either a Royal or a Chicago. Um, I'm a big fan of what else do I love? I love a good React. I think Reacts are so comfortable. I think everyone should have a pair of Reacts. I love a good Air Force. I think everyone should have a pair of Air Forces. Like as basic as they are now, like everyone needs a clean, keyword clean, pair of Air Forces.
Let them know.
Yeah, don't come to me with no crusty, dusty Air Force One. Oh, no way. Yeah, no, can't be doing that. And then what else? I think I have a pair of sixes, the Lady May sixes. They're like this beautiful pink color, and I love pink. They embody everything I love. So I love those. And I feel like I'm definitely sleeping on one. I'm looking at my room and there's just shoes everywhere, and I'm trying to think like which one do I love? I don't know. I think I love Vans. I think people sleep on Vans. Uh, yeah, I don't know. There's just so much.
You go sneaker shopping and talking about all these kicks. Yeah,
Literally.
I'm about to go buy me some kicks today. Look what you did.
I work in a shoe store. Like, you're telling me.
Oh man, yeah. Look what you done did.
Yeah.
Think you're a bad influence on everything.
Don't worry, I'm gonna show
I'm
you the
like,
plugs. Don't.
oh yeah. I'm coming to Toronto for sure.
Yeah.
Get the plugs and the tour guide, the food joints. I need all that, most definitely.
Yeah. Got you.
Damn, that's crazy. So, what do you feel like you've learned about podcasting so far?
Mm, that's a good question. I think just in terms of creativity, I've learned that I'm such a type of person, like I want things to look a certain way, to be a certain way. Like I want it to be a finished product already. And I had to learn that like that's not realistic when it comes to any type of project, any type of brand. Like you have to grow with it and like it's better to start and release and grow with it and allow it to organically become what it needs to become than what you think it should be. So I've had to kind of fight this urge of it being quote unquote perfect and allow it to be organic and allow it to grow naturally, and not be so focused on it being perfect because I just wanted it so badly to be perfect and look a certain way and be a certain way. Especially because there's just so much out there, right? You wanted to hold the same standard as everyone else, but you can't compare, you know, everyone's at their own pace, their own journey. As long as you have the content, and you know your content's solid, I feel like everything else will come with time, you know, and that's the most important part is just starting.
Yeah, starting like everything isn't perfect, and it's just like trusting the process and trusting the journey.
Yep.
It's like I know Kobe said this one time. It's like it's not the destination; it's about the journey.
Yep.
So it's like the journey of it. Because once you get to the destination, you're like, damn, you just gonna look back on the journey, like, man, all the sacrifices, all the time you spent, and all the time you like, I want this to be perfect. And when it finally becomes perfect, like, damn,
Yeah.
it's still not perfect. You're just like,
Right?
because it won't never be perfect to somebody that's like a perfectionist in a way. So it's
Yeah.
like you want it to be perfect, and it's like when it's perfect to everybody else, you're like, well, this last little 2 seconds was like messed up because
Mm-hmm.
it sounded like I was muffled. I'm like, nah. So it's like it's not gonna be perfect all the time. So it's just like as long as, like you say, you have the content and just putting out the information for the people that it's gonna be perfect for them and perfect for their ears and perfect for their
Yeah.
mind, building them up. And that's what the perfect comes from. I think nothing's ever really perfect at the end of the day. So
Yeah, there is no such thing. Like it's a concept, like a make-believe concept in our head. So exactly like you said. And sometimes I almost feel like when something is raw and like organic, it reaches people in a more like the frequency of it has a stronger hit with people, you know, because it's like this authentic, clear, vibrant thing versus like this over edited thing.
You. I got two more questions. I know you gotta get on with your day. First one is, how can I help you with anything you're trying to accomplish or your
Mm.
goals or anything of that nature?
Ooh, I love this because no one ever asks me. I'm always the one helping. So I always feel really uncomfortable when people ask me. Honestly, just thank you for giving me the time to share my platform and supporting. Like that means everything to me, honestly. Like that's all. Like just continue to spread the word and awareness when it comes to like just mental health, wellness, you know, especially amongst our community. Like I think that's so important, and especially being a man and talking about it, I think that's even more important because it's not talked about enough. So just being a leader in the community, like that's just all I could ever ask for. Like I appreciate it so much.
And like I can any way you want me to need me to help or need help with anything, just let me know. I'm here. I'm a
Thank
phone
you.
call away, text away. I got you.
Thank you.
So, and final and last question:
Ooh.
What what kind of impact do you want to have on the world?
Ooh. Oh, man. Um, I I want to leave people better than how I met them. Like I never want to, and even if it's so subconscious, like they don't even realize like that I did anything, but I never want to leave someone worse, you know, or just the same. Like I want to always have some form of butterfly effect, whether it's guiding them in the right direction or making their day a little bit better or you know connecting and making them realize like they're not alone or you know giving someone like the encouragement to start therapy. Like I always want to leave people feeling like damn, like there is humanity, there's good people in the world, and just yeah, just better than how I met them. Like I never want to like I pride myself on that. Like I never want to meet someone and they're like, damn, like she just wasted my whole time. Like, no, I never like, you know,
Yeah, I know what you
that's
mean.
like the worst. And I've said that about people and it sucks because it's like, wow, this person really like could have just left me alone. Like you set me back. Like I never want to be that type of person.
Most
I
definitely.
want to
Anyway,
push people forward, you know what I mean? Like I want that to be my legacy, you know, make people feel like they're becoming better, allow them like be a vessel of like love and light and healing. And that's really all I want. Like I just want people to feel better when they're around me. That's all.
I know what you mean too, especially how we was discussing earlier. Somebody's like to a minute, just making that impact on them, saying hi, how you doing, making them smile, or checking on them,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Because it's
Huge.
like, yeah, because so really people don't even do that. I remember like it was like a week ago, and I was talking. I said hello, how you doing to this guy, and he was like just amazed that I was talking to him.
Yeah.
He was like, you talking to me? I was like, yeah. He was like, and then he ended up saying like because people fail to realize his existence,
Mm,
and just something simple like that like really uplifts people because like some people really just go through this world feeling like they don't exist or people just walk past them or don't even say nothing to them. Like even like the
mm-hmm.
less fortunate people on the streets or something like that, even
Yeah.
just saying hi hello to them like really boosts their mental and really helps them out versus just looking at them
Acknowledge
with
them
disgust
as
or
a
anything of that
human.
nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
So
big. I always say, like, you never know your purpose, right? You never know what, like, whether it's God, the universe, whatever you identify with, what your vessel is being used for. And I have such a clear memory. I remember I was literally like rock bottom, and I couldn't stay at home because I kept having panic attacks. So I got on the bus, and like my eyes were puffy because I kept crying, and like I was shaky, and I just had to get. I was going to my mom's work because I didn't want to be alone at home. And then I get off the bus, and this lady, I guess, was on the bus with me. And I still remember what she looks like. And she tapped me on the shoulder. She's like, "Can I give you a hug?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I hugged her, and I was bawling my eyes out. And she looked at me. She goes, I want you to know you're going to be okay. She's like, you don't even have to tell me what it is, but you're going to be okay. I promise you. Like, you're beautiful, whatever it is, you're going to be okay. She goes, I'm going in, I think she was going, because my mom works in a hospital. She was going to the hospital for, I think it was like blood, like a blood, what's it called? The blood like transfer or whatever. Like she needed, yeah. It's because she had a form of like cancer or something. Like because my mom works at a cancer hospital, so she was going in for something to like a procedure, right? And she's like, she's like the cancer. She's like the cancer has come back. Like it's the second time. She's like, but I know I'm gonna be okay. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like this lady's actual angel. Like, and I literally always think that like you're going to be okay, but like me telling myself that, I didn't believe it. You know what I mean? But this angel literally like had every reason to be like, yo, screw the world, like I'm going through shit. Like she didn't know what I was going through and she just like told me like, yo, you're going to be okay. I promise you you're going to be okay. And like I always think of her like to this day. Like she didn't have to do that. It was the smallest interaction, you know what I mean? She's a stranger, I'm a stranger, and it like literally impacted me so much. So like yeah, like if you see someone crying or you feel like someone's down, like you don't know, you could redirect their whole life in that moment. Like you have no idea the impact you're gonna have.
Appreciate you for coming on the episode, coming on the show, just everything. Like
Of course.
this episode, I love this episode. Honestly, hearing your story, hearing what you've been through, hearing how you helped from the Boys and Girls Club till now, and how you're still helping, how you're still being a mental health advocate, you're still fighting the fight, bringing the awareness and bringing the wellness to people, and I just respect it and I appreciate you and I thank you
Of
for
course.
everything you're doing and continue to doing. More blessings on the way for you
Thank you.
and yours. Last thing, how can my listeners, my viewers, find you?
Ooh, well, like I said at the beginning, the Instagram for my podcast is Call Me Crazy Pod. Otherwise, Call Me Crazy Podcast on basically every platform that you can listen to podcasts. You can find my personal Instagram at Be For Real. It's BEEFOREAL. I do a lot of like advocating on that too. I feel like I spend more time on there than the podcast Instagram, which I need to change up, but yeah, you guys can find me there. Don't ever feel like you can't reach out. I feel honored when someone is able to be vulnerable with me. I never take it for granted. So if you just need someone to hear you, give you a resource, direct you to in the right direction, like don't hesitate. I will always be an ear to listen and a friend. So yeah.
Yeah, reach out to her, check her out, subscribe to her podcast, hit her up if you have any mental health. If you're going through a mental health journey yourself and you just need somebody to
Yes.
reach out to or need some advice, hit her up and reach out to her because she will be glad to help. She'll hit you back. No, we trying to shoot your shot in her in DMs,
You'll
fellas.
actually get left on red. But if you're a shoe
So
head, come through. We can talk about
yeah,
shoes.
yeah. So, but I appreciate you, man. Have a good day. We
Thank
talking to you soon.
you. Sounds
All
good. Don't be a stranger.
right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.